Let's do it.
Let's go. So, well, welcome all to a new segment I would like to call Valo-Rants, where I take my insomnia-induced thoughts. Did I say you could talk, guest? No, I did not say insomnia-induced thoughts and put it on the internet. Today I have a very, very special guest, my good buddy Fox. Anyway, would you like to say anything before we start, Fox? Would you like to add anything?
What am I trying to say? What am I trying to add?
It's up to you if you want to add something. Before we start, Fox wants to say something, whatever, or something stupid, but never mind. We're good. You had your chance.
Oh, well.
Yep.
Nah.
You had your chance. That's all.
I'm gonna take this moment to talk about hot ones. Caught me off guard, and on top of that, I don't really have anything to plug.
That was the point. Okay, so anyway, so as again, since this is new to everyone, this is new to me, and this is definitely new to Fox because we've never done this at all before. We're kind of going off of things that keep me up at night, honestly, and the thoughts that I need other people's opinions besides my own. The reason I kind of want to do these little things or rants or whatnot with different people or is because this is the stuff that like keeps me up for hours on end for some reason.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, and it's just more of like I want to
Instead of just talking to yourself about it, you talk to other people about it.
Exactly. I talked to Asia about it already. And one that really got to me, that kept me up for hours on straight, was this one. It was basically picking a time of your past to put all your memories and experiences of your future self, I guess present self, as a way to go back in time and redo everything, but with your current state of mind. I just confused myself. But I'll do a simpler version, okay? Let's say
if you could pick a point in time to go back to,
exactly,
where would it be?
And the time would be, of course, 10 years. Now, I don't know why I said of course, but it just makes more sense to make it a decade because that's like a whole part of your life, you know? Decades are part of your life in the first place. So I'm thinking, again, you take yourself 10 years back. You know, I'm not saying what you would do, and we could always get into that, but it's more of how does this affect a person? How does this, how would this
changes everything?
But in terms of what way besides, well, we'll get to the psychological part, but how would it work as well? I don't know if you've taken some time to think about this or not, but otherwise I can get into this if you want, Fox. Up to you. Do you want me to start? Or are you good?
I mean, go for it. I'll jump in if I have to.
Okay, so what happened with me, and the reason why I brought this up was because of the fact that when I was thinking about going back in time, again, 10 years, whatever, a few years is nothing, but 10 years, I was thinking of everything that I can do to make my future better, which obviously what someone would probably do or stop something that happened to them that was very traumatic. But then all I was thinking was the good stuff. I was never thinking of the bad stuff, you know, of what would happen if I did one certain thing. I was just thinking if I did this, well then now I get this car. If I did this, now I have this much money. And it just kept going and going. It was basically just a daydream. That's all it was. It was just a fucking daydream that I didn't want to get out of. But when it eventually ended, it was like I got hit with a baseball bat, and it was just straight depression because I was like, this is not real in the first place. I'm just daydreaming. I'm back here laying in the dark in bed, you know, still same old me, you know. And that's when it hit me for a second, and I was like, I don't want to think about it, but I had to think about it at the same time. Was what would really happen, you know, with the bad stuff with it? How would you feel if you took everything that you felt now to your younger self? For me, it's 27 to 17, right? I was a ball of fucked up at 17, just like how I am now, right?
I remember my 17 too.
Exactly. So if I were to take me now with my mind, my consciousness, everything that I've worked towards, everything that I've done, you know, back to 17, how would that work for my memories too? Because now you're getting the memories that you had when you were 17 back as well, all meshed together. Because I don't remember what happened fucking 10 years ago, you know? Some things I do, some things I don't. Especially when it comes to like high school, I try to just blur that shit out.
So it sounds like what we're doing here is we're just thinking about everything involved in going back like this, you're keeping your memories, but you're also making new ones. Is that what you're getting at? Is like, is there
Um,
enough space in our brains for it?
no. Let's take the space out for a second, right? Like let's say the capacity that we can take, it's whatever, infinite. What I'm saying is, how how does our memory warp together? Does it just take out everything that you were at 17 and now it's whatever you are? We're 27 because you already
No,
lived
no,
through
no,
it.
no. This whole thought experiment is going back with your current memories
Yeah.
of current right now
Mm-hmm.
and taking that knowledge back to when you were younger, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and how everything would change from there, like the good times and the bad times.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have that knowledge from the future, do you try to avoid the bad times? And
Well,
by trying to avoid them, do you make worse times?
that's the thing that got to me as well. So when we go to there and we talk about we try to change the future, of course, now we just make a whole streamline of timelines of things you could do and things you can't, no, not can't do, but things you could have done, right? And now you're looking at, and every person is going to probably do this, or most likely is going to do this, is pick points in time of which they want the same. Am I right? I mean, there's points of times you're like, oh crap, if you really think about it, I don't want that to change. It would suck. Because now
Well,
if you change something, that point in time basically doesn't exist anymore, right? If you change a decision, now you have to force it. How would that work psychologically as well? Because now you have to force it. And an example that I was giving Asia as well was, the point in time that I don't want to change is meeting her, right? Because
yeah.
like, sure, I mean, you saw me how I was with Carla and everyone else, but like, I don't want to change when I met Asia. But if I go back to 17, that's a whole different ballpark of the years coming about, because there's a lot of things that I would want to change, but it also changes how I meet Asia and that whole experience, you know? So now, do I force that? How does that make me
Okay, hold on. Again, if you have the knowledge from the future, wouldn't you then have the knowledge to seek her out going back?
Oh, see that, and that's what got to me as well. Is when that happened, I was going to San Jose, going to San Jose State, and I was working in San Jose and all that. But what I would change is I wouldn't go to San Jose State, right? And and um, and the thing is, in terms of, I guess, quantum physics and whatnot, is if you were to change something to said future, wouldn't that change other people's lives as well? Because it makes another streamline, right? If we're gonna get sciencey technical with this, right? Because I mean, I'm no fucking expert, but I'm just assuming, science fiction wise, that would
Of course,
happen.
everything's gonna affect everything
Yeah.
else.
So the only reason I again met Asia was just Tinder, and then she got broken up by her boyfriend. So what if something that I do again, which is now go to San Jose and go and do this and play Magic, and then find her on Tinder, right? How that means that they won't break up.
Wait, are you talking about trying to find her the same way, or just like sooner or something?
Well, even the sooner part, she's with her boyfriend too as well. And
But I mean, you have the knowledge that it's not gonna work out.
if it doesn't work out, that's the thing, because we don't know what if that
What if you
keeps
play
going.
it the same way and, well, I mean, semi the same way, 'cause you're obviously not going to the college, but beyond that, are you doing that part the same or not?
Uh, see that's why this is what baffled me, because it gets so technical too when you pick a point in time as well. If you tried to go from making it that you're relying on the fact that she does break up with her boyfriend, right? And then you can basically go off of that. That means you either have to make a basis with her before the breakup, or actually hope the algorithm of Tinder matches you up again. You know what I'm saying? Because what if that means that I would have to still remember everything I put on that Tinder profile, you know, because that was kind of one
Not
of
necessarily.
yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, you're
I'm
right.
assuming there was some sort of way that you acted towards her, and you know,
Well,
why
to
couldn't you kind of replicate that in such a way that it works again?
to get the match though, that's the thing. I know this is so weird to say right now, but it's just how our generation is. But like, yes, to get the match in general, right? Was just
Yeah.
that first initial, the whole profile thing. It's knowing that you can get this person, but how weird is it to try to get the person? Because now you know where they live, now you know who they are, now you know their past, everything that could lead up to who they are. That's what's so weird about it. Because now all you're doing is you're not looking for any other person from that, from, I guess, if we're still using my personal experience, from my age group, 17, all the way to 24, right? Like, would I actually do that? Would a person actually go without having any other relationship or anything else just to have that one person in
Some
general?
people would, some people wouldn't.
See, and then that's what takes to the whole psychological aspect too, because you're doing this person doesn't even know, you know, like this person doesn't even, when you meet them, actually get with them, they don't know what you had to go through, and you can't really tell them because now you're just fucking crazy. In general, like, even if they love you, it's like, are they really gonna fucking believe you about this whole thing? It just seems weird overall. If we do this whole point in time thing, not the whole overall question, but
Yeah, it does seem kind of manipulative.
right, see? And that, how does that fuck up the psyche for later? Because it's something that you have to keep with you the entire
Really
time.
depends on how heavy of a burden you make it.
That is true.
It's like the other person's almost guaranteed to not know, so that's on you, you know?
Mm. When I try to use that example, I'm trying to also figure out, just for any other person, I mean, even yourself too, is the psychological aspect of going back with all your emotions plus whatever you're feeling back at 17. You know, when you
Whoa. Time out. Are we am I going back to 17?
no
Or am
no
I going back 10 years to
no. I
20?
mean, I'm sorry, 10 years, just 10 years in general, just like that, because there's just a gap, you know, like, of everything that
Yeah.
you've experienced,
'Cause
that you've
every
built up.
7 years, you're a different person.
Yeah, so like that's a whole different ballpark. And what got to me too, and I'm sorry, let me just, I'll just finish this out. But what got to me too was, because you know of your own personal self of 10 years in the future, now in a sense you kind of walk tall, if that makes any sense. If that makes any sense, because since you kind of know it all, you feel more mature, because again you come back from your older self. So like,
I mean, you are more
yeah.
mature.
So your friend groups are gonna feel weird. Your interactions are gonna be a lot different. You basically, if I'm pretty sure you're going to look and feel from other people's perspectives of a different person. So how do you hide that? Do you just play that along as a great fucking actor? Like, you know, there's that too.
It's just some of these, the mentality of some of these people, they end up, you know how there's the rave mommies or whatever?
Yeah.
You got people like that, and then you got people that could basically like be the father figure type of that. And that's just like,
But
those are mature people. They
so
understand other people. They're, you know, they have enough empathy towards them and
so
compassion.
So would that mean that because of your maturity, there's a whole different timeline then, right? Because of that, if you think about it, not just from
I
changing
mean,
anything.
you're on a different level, kind of.
Because now you're seeing differently. Because back then, before I even started doing anything else for streaming, I, even though I thought I had confidence, I had very low confidence in general. Like, just low, anxiety ridden, everything. Even though I talked a big talk, but I was just, no, I was not. But now that I would feel it and actually know I am, how does that now that just changes how I interact with people in general, and how I take more initiative without even realizing it. That's the funny part.
I'm fucked up. You're like trying to fucking create a goddamn simulation in your head right here about this shit. And I'm trying to decipher what the fuck you're saying.
How do you think I feel? I've been thinking the same. That's why I
Or
just.
you can't sleep.
Okay, well, then what about you then? You don't have to give like specifics, but how would you deal with it if you actually went back
If I
10?
went back, there's a couple of things. Um, big one, I would care for myself more in all the ways, that you can, you
Mm,
know,
so
and that would avoid so much shit. Because like, in one hand, I am one of those people where I wouldn't have it any other way than how it happened because I enjoy who I am right now.
mm.
But if there's things that I could change if I really wanted to, and if I could.
Now is that for not just to better yourself, but for a better lucrative future, or just a better happy future, or both?
A more rich life,
Okay, so a more enriched life. So it's more of like
less
kind of.
bad, more good,
Mm.
maybe even some great. Make a few decisions that keep my fucking mental
Sanity.
health,
Oh.
you know, not as bad as it is. Because holy shit.
No.
But
Do you think that due to like maybe the decisions of the past, it would actually probably make your health better, or no? Or is just this was something that you knew was just gonna come anyway? You know what I'm saying?
it's kind of a bit of both.
Mm. That's.
I've been treating myself like shit for so long that 10 years isn't gonna help that. Well, what I can do is kind of course correct sooner
Mm,
than say 30 years old,
mm.
31 years old.
That's something I've always wondered too. Is if someone who had said disease or said complications for their health, if they went back and changed a few things, enriched their life to make themselves feel better, to know that deep in their head, deep in their mind, or back of their mind, that the future is going to look a bit better for them, does that help their physicality out? You know what I mean? Does it maybe
It's
stop it?
motivation. It's a chance to rewind the clock. Everybody wants that if it's bad enough, if they want it enough. Like again, if I had that chance, sure, I'd take it.
Mm.
Doesn't solve everything, but it sure takes a nice fucking chunk of it out.
Cause see that's kind. Well, I think that's what I've been trying to figure out too. When I think about going back that 10 years, is if the choices I would make would actually help other people as well, not just myself to, you know, maybe have better skin or something. Make sure that I get shit done to have a, I guess, richer future, both for life and financially. Um, but would I also take the time out, instead of just being selfish, knowing what's going to happen, to help other people? Like our friend group, for example, all the shit that's all happened and everything here and on the Discord and even on Skype when I had to tell people off to get off of our Skype chat. Like would I take that differently? Because I know that there are points in time where it won't change because it was just happen. Like sure I can say that if I do the little thing it might, but overall I think it's still gonna probably be the same, even if I'm at 17 to whatever. Because I met you guys when I was like 20, 21, around there. No, crap. Like I think 20. Yeah, 20. Like, do I want to be selfish and not do it, or should I? Now that I've taken this chance, should I help the other people with it? Does it become a crusade of, do I get into this drug of
Hold
helping
on.
people? Taking another
This
hit,
is like
Richard.
some Superman shit. It's like, fuck, how does the quote go? It's in Man of Steel. Or is it Man of Steel or is it
Just look it up.
Batman?
We have the internet
Oh,
right now. I mean,
I kind of don't. So
okay, I got
it's
you. Hold
it's
on.
just you either choose to be their hero or you don't, or you don't.
Uh,
It's like you can save them from themselves if like knowing certain things would help. Either like you can empathize with them better, you can uh give better advice to them, help them that way. But it's like that's precious energy you're putting towards something. Is that really how you want to play it?
Mm. I would actually help others instead of putting them down because again, it was fun back then. Don't get me wrong. I did enjoy it. Like I did
Yeah,
enjoy it.
yeah, I know how it is.
But
I was 17 one time.
not even no, I'm talking about like just because I mean, the experience that we all
Yeah.
have had here and that's what I mean. Like we do enjoy it. But overall, it is pretty fucking cancerous. So it's like maybe it would be better for everyone if I just made it so that just never happened, or guide it through. You know what I mean? Put more effort to it instead of just being my own cliche Koro of the group dickhead. Like, and actually help out and make sure it's better. I want to thank everyone who made it this far at the end of the video. Appreciate it very much. And remember, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps a lot. And there is going to be a part 2. It's coming out soon of this video. Again, thank you for listening. It means a lot. Appreciate it. And don't forget to leave a comment down below. Give me your opinion on this whole situation. Going back in time. You don't give me a specific reason or anything, but let me know how do you think it works? How do you think it would work out for you? Everyone in your own mind, your psyche, things like that? Or do you actually have a scientific hypothesis in general that we don't know? Again, we're just talking out of our ass in this in general. So it'd be great to know your feedback and to know what you guys think. So again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for listening, and stay tuned for part 2. Peace.
We'll edit it out.
Shut the fuck up, because I gotta be the one to edit it.
So like I have to ghetto rig it and wrap it around my neck or something to keep it in place.
Okay, now it just sounds like suicide all of a sudden.
Well, I mean,
no, talk that asphyxiation. That's what it was.
autoerotic asphyxiation.
There you go.
Yep.
Autoerotic asphyxiation. Oh man. Okay, that's.
I don't know if I'm getting it out before we start this or not.